Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Among the many buildings in the Forbidden City, there is a Buddhist hall that remains closed to the public to this day, Yuhua Pavilion. Due to its special status, numerous legends about Yuhua Pavilion have emerged. Some say that this Buddhist hall hides secrets unknown to the world. And the only person who truly understood its mysteries in modern history might have been the last emperor of the Qing dynasty, Puyi. But is this really the case? According to historians, ever since the Forbidden City opened to the public, various mysterious legends have circulated, such as the shadow on the wall during thunderstorms, and the story of the well of concubine Zhen. These tales have added an element of intrigue for visitors. However, with scientific advancements, many previously inexplicable phenomena now have reasonable explanations, turning these legends into nothing more than interesting anecdotes for casual conversation. Still, many people may not realize that only 52% of the Forbidden City is currently open to the public, meaning nearly half of the palace complex remains off-limits. This naturally raises curiosity: do these restricted areas conceal unknown imperial secrets? Yuhua Pavilion is a historic Buddhist hall with origins tracing back to the Qianlong era of the Qing dynasty. According to historical records, Emperor Qianlong referenced the architectural style of Tibet's Tholing Monastery Mandala Hall when he renovated an existing Ming dynasty structure to enshrine esoteric Buddhist deities known as the Western Heaven Brahma images. The overall layout of the hall strictly adheres to the four divisions of Tibetan esoteric Buddhism: the Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Highest Yoga Tantra. Amazingly, despite centuries of weathering and change, Yuhua Pavilion has retained its original Qing dynasty appearance. Hanging above the main hall on the ground floor is a plaque inscribed by Emperor Qianlong himself, bearing the words Wisdom Pearl and Heart Seal, reflecting profound cultural heritage. Inside the hall, one of the principal deities enshrined under the Kriya Tantra is Amateus, while behind the altar are three cloisonné mandalas, crafted in the 19th year of Qianlong's reign, 1754. These precious artifacts not only showcase exquisite craftsmanship but also embody profound religious and cultural significance. Those familiar with Qing dynasty history know that the imperial family held deep reverence for Tibetan esoteric Buddhism, and Tibet's golden monasteries were renowned far and wide. From this perspective, the grandeur and mystery of Yuhua Pavilion are hardly surprising. The cloisonné mandalas and other rare artifacts housed within it are now classified as national treasures under strict protection. As a result, its long-term closure to the public seems a logical decision. However, folklore suggests another reason. According to legend, Yuhua Pavilion houses an extraordinarily precious, golden Dharma image, a statue of Shakyamuni Buddha. This statue is said to be made entirely of pure gold and adorned with countless priceless gemstones, making it one of the most valuable treasures in the Forbidden City. It is believed that the existence of this golden Buddha is the primary reason for Yuhua Pavilion's strict closure. At first glance, this explanation seems reasonable, but upon closer examination, it raises several doubts. The Forbidden City contains countless invaluable artifacts, and even those not on display are documented through official records. Yet, there has never been any formal mention of a golden Buddha hidden in Yuhua Pavilion. If this legend were true, have cultural relic experts deliberately kept it a secret all this time? Or is this merely another mysterious folk tale? Perhaps the only person who could truly solve this mystery is the last emperor, Puyi. Some may wonder, although Puyi was the last emperor, why is he the only one who can answer this question? In fact, even with today's many historians and cultural relic experts, no one is more familiar with the interior of Yuhua Pavilion than Puyi himself. According to Puyi's recollections, during the Qing dynasty, Yuhua Pavilion was not a place just anyone could enter, not even members of the imperial family had free access. The most mysterious part was the fourth floor of the Buddhist hall, an area strictly off-limits to all except the emperor. Many people believe that this floor enshrines the rumored Golden Buddha, but in reality, it does not. Instead, it houses a statue of the deity of supreme bliss. What is the Union Buddha? Why is it so mysterious? The Union Buddha is a unique tantric Buddhist, Lamaism, statue that symbolizes the perfect union of Dharma and wisdom. The statue is typically depicted in a dual union posture, where the male figure represents Dharma and the female figure represents wisdom. Their embrace signifies the unity of these two elements, embodying the highest state of supreme yoga. In Tibetan Buddhist temples, the worship of the Union Buddha is highly restricted. And not all believers have access to it, which further highlights its sacredness. Why did the emperor worship the Union Buddha on the top floor of Yuhua Pavilion? To understand this, we must look at one of the greatest concerns of ancient emperors, the continuation of the royal lineage. In ancient China, ensuring the continuation of the dynasty was not just a personal duty of the emperor but also a matter of national stability. However, despite having vast imperial harems, many emperors lacked practical knowledge about producing heirs. The traditional education system did not cover such topics, and even within the royal family, discussions on this matter were considered taboo. As a result, many emperors had little understanding of how to ensure the prosperity of their bloodline. This is where the Union Buddha sculpture, with its religious significance, came into play. It not only symbolized tantric wisdom but also served as a form of education for the emperor. Because of its highly private nature, such sculptures could not be displayed publicly. Thus, the fourth floor of Yuhua Pavilion became an exclusive space for the emperor, accessible only on the eve of his wedding, where he would receive a form of special enlightenment. Why is Yuhua Pavilion still off limits? Given this perspective, Yuhua Pavilion has remained closed to the public not because it houses a golden Buddha, but because the Union Buddha statue on the fourth floor is deemed too private for public viewing. Today, though the Qing dynasty has long faded into history, the mystery surrounding Yuhua Pavilion remains. For visitors, this Buddhist hall, sealed off from the outside world, only adds to its aura of secrecy. The various legends surrounding it have turned it into one of the most legendary places within the Forbidden City. According to relevant records, the Forbidden City in Beijing is located in the center of the city. The entire architectural complex was built according to the principles of ancient Chinese feng shui, following the layout principles outlined in the Rites of Zhou, Kaogongji, which emphasizes ancestral temples to the left, altars to the right, the palace facing forward, and the marketplace behind. The Forbidden City is situated along Beijing's north-south central axis, which spans 8 kilometers. The overall layout exhibits a symmetrical balance along the north-south direction. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, the imperial ancestral temple, where emperors worshipped their ancestors, was located to the left front of the Forbidden City. To the right front stood the altar of earth and grain, where sacrifices were made to the gods of soil and harvest, now known as Zhongshan Park. The front section of the palace was designated for government affairs, while the rear served as a marketplace for commoners to trade goods. To the north of the Forbidden City lies Wanshou Mountain, now Jingshan, while the south is bordered by the Jinshui River. This layout of backed by mountains and facing water aligns perfectly with the ancient Chinese feng shui principle of embracing yin and embracing yang to achieve harmony. Wanshou Mountain is an artificially constructed hill built in the early Ming dynasty on the site of the Yuan dynasty's former imperial palace, Yanchenggu. The soil and rocks used for its construction mainly came from the excavation of the city's moat and the South Lake. This design not only adhered to the imperial city's principle of building against the mountain, but also served as a means to suppress the feng shui of the previous dynasty, earning it the title Zhenshan, Mountain of Suppression. The overall layout of Beijing is often described as two dragons emerging from water, protecting the Forbidden City, which is closely linked to ancient Chinese astronomy. according to traditional beliefs. The Ziwei star, Polaris, is located at the center of the sky and is regarded as the celestial residence of the emperor. Thus, the emperor's palace was named the Purple Forbidden City, symbolizing the divine right to rule. The Forbidden City is enclosed by a 12-meter-high and 3,400-meter-long city wall, with an additional 52-meter-wide moat surrounding it, making the palace resemble a well-fortified fortress. The palace complex has 4 main gates: the southern Meridian Gate, Wu Gate; the northern Gate of Divine Might, Shenwu Gate; the eastern Donghua Gate, and the western Shihua Gate. Notably, the Gate of Divine Might directly faces Jingshan, which not only serves as a protective barrier but also completes the palace's feng shui layout. The Forbidden City spans an area of over 720,000 square meters, measuring approximately 960 meters from north to south and 750 meters from east to west. It houses around 8,000 existing structures. The palace complex is mainly divided into 2 sections, the outer court and the inner court. Outer court, the core buildings include the Hall of Supreme Harmony, Taihe Hall, the Hall of Central Harmony, Zhanghe Hall, and the Hall of Preserving Harmony, Baohe Hall, symbolizing the supreme authority of the emperor. To the east is the Hall of Literary Glory, Wenhua Hall, for cultural affairs, while to the west is the Hall of Martial Valor, Wuying Hall, for military matters. This area served as the venue for imperial assemblies, grand ceremonies, and ritual offerings. Inner court, located behind the outer court. The inner court centers around the Palace of Heavenly Purity, Qianqing Palace, the Hall of Union, Jiaotai Hall, and the Palace of Earthly Tranquility, Cunning Palace, where the emperor resided and handled daily state affairs. Additionally, the inner court contains the Imperial Garden, as well as the 6 eastern palaces and 6 western palaces, which served as residences for the empress and concubines. The Forbidden City is not only an awe-inspiring imperial palace but also a cultural treasure with a history spanning 6 centuries. Its unique architectural style and profound historical significance make it an essential part of the world's cultural heritage. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.